25 forgotten sandwiches that have faded into history. Sandwiches were once the heart of an American lunch. Quick to make, easy to carry. And somehow, always tied to a memory, whether it was packed in wax paper for school, ordered from a roadside diner, or served at home with a pickle spear and potato chips. Sandwiches were more than just food. They were comfort, tradition, a little slice of everyday life. But over time, some of those beloved sandwiches quietly disappeared, replaced by newer trends, flashier fillings, or forgotten altogether. Today, we're unwrapping 25 sandwiches that have faded into history and bringing back the flavors, the stories, and the simple joy of 2 slices of bread and a whole lot of love. 1. Olive and cream cheese sandwich. Spread soft cream cheese on white bread and top it with sliced green olives, stuffed with pimento. It was tangy, salty, smooth, and surprisingly elegant. Popular in tea rooms, church luncheons, and grandma's kitchen, but nearly forgotten today. Back then, it felt like a little afternoon treat. 2. Liverwurst and onion. A thick layer of liverwurst on rye bread, often with a few thin slices of raw onion and a swipe of mustard. The flavor was bold. The smell was stronger, but for many dads, this was the ultimate grown-up sandwich, best enjoyed with a cold beer and a quiet kitchen. 3. Ham salad sandwich. Chopped ham, mayo, sweet relish, and sometimes crushed pineapple, all mashed into a creamy spread, served on white bread or soft rolls. It was a potluck favorite and a thrifty way to use leftovers. It may not win any beauty contests, but one bite, and it brought you right back to your aunt's kitchen. 4. Egg and olive sandwich. Like egg salad, but with a salty twist. Boiled eggs, chopped green olives, a little mayo, and a dash of paprika, all mashed into a thick spread. It was messy, rich, and totally unique. You either loved it or never touched it again. Either way, it had its moment, especially in lunchboxes and picnic baskets. 5. Chipped beef on toast. Okay, it's technically open-faced, but it counts. Thin slices of dried beef in creamy white gravy, served hot over toast. It was a military classic, a budget stretcher, and a Saturday night special in many homes. Folks still remember the nickname, but fewer and fewer remember the taste. 6. Sardine and mustard sandwich. Sounds wild today, but back then, totally normal. A can of sardines drained and laid out on white or rye bread, topped with a swirl of yellow mustard and maybe a few sliced onions or pickles. It was bold, briny, and packed with flavor. A favorite among folks who grew up near the coast or during harder times, and proudly eaten with a cold glass of milk or ginger ale. 7. Grilled cheese and pickle sandwich. Not just grilled cheese, grilled cheese with bread and butter, pickles tucked inside. That mix of gooey cheddar and tangy crunch made this sandwich something special. Fried in butter on a cast-iron skillet until golden brown, served with tomato soup or a tall glass of Kool-Aid. It was weird and perfect. 9. BLT with a twist. Yep, a real thing. A classic bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, but with a layer of peanut butter instead of mayo. It sounds wrong until you try it. The salty-sweet combo had a cult following in some parts of the country, mostly found in old-school diners or written on index cards in Grandma's recipe box. 10. Bologna and potato chip sandwich. A soft slice of white bread, a few thin slices of bologna, and a handful of crunched-up potato chips, right in the middle. Close it up, press it down flat, and take a big bite. The crunch, the salt, the soft bread. It was school lunch perfection. And if your mum wrapped it in wax paper with a little Debbie on the side, that was a good day. 11. cucumber and cream cheese on rye, light, crisp, and just a little fancy. This sandwich was often served at ladies' luncheons, tea parties, or on a tray with crusts cut off, thinly sliced cucumbers layered over cream cheese, with a dash of dill or sometimes served cold on soft rye or wheat. It was refreshing, dainty, and something your grandmother probably served with iced tea and lemon slices. 12. Cold meatloaf sandwich. Leftover meatloaf, chilled and sliced thick, add a dollop of ketchup or mustard, place it between 2 slices of soft bread, and boom, dinner became tomorrow's lunch. It was dense, salty, satisfying, and way better than it had any right to be. Some folks added pickles. Others liked it plain. But if you opened your lunchbox and saw one of these, you knew you were eating good. 13. Chicken croquette sandwich. Chicken croquettes were a big deal in the 60s and 70s, especially in the South and Northeast. Leftover shredded chicken, shaped into patties, breaded and fried, then placed on a bun with a spoonful of white gravy or slaw. It was crunchy, creamy, and the kind of sandwich that stuck to your ribs. You didn't see them at fast food joints. This was real home cooking. 14. Deviled ham sandwich. This one came straight from the little Underwood can with the Red Devil logo. Deviled ham was spicy, spreadable, and a little mysterious. Like bologna's sassy cousin. Spread it thick on white bread, maybe top it with lettuce or thin tomato slices, and serve with a pickle spear. You either loved it, or you never went near it again. 15. Egg foo young sandwich. Now this one is a regional gem, especially in old Chinese-American diners in places like Chicago or St. Louis. Fluffy egg foo young patty, served between 2 slices of bread or a bun, sometimes drenched in brown gravy, savory, messy, and surprisingly popular for a short time. Now, nearly vanished, unless you know exactly where to look. 16. Cheese whiz and tomato on white bread. A thick layer of cheese whiz, a couple slices of fresh tomato, and maybe a sprinkle of salt and pepper. Simple, absolutely strange. A little, but somehow it worked. Served cold or broiled, just until bubbly, this was a quick, low-caste favorite. If your family kept a jar of cheese whiz in the fridge, odds are you've had this sandwich at least once, probably during a hot summer afternoon. 17. Hot roast beef with brown gravy. An open-faced sandwich piled high with thinly sliced roast beef, poured over with rich brown gravy, and served with mashed potatoes on the side. It was messy, heavy, and straight from the lunch counter. More common in old diners and cafeterias than home kitchens. This one disappeared as fast food took over, but folks who remember it still crave it on rainy days. 18. Fried bologna and egg sandwich. Slice the bologna so it doesn't curl. Fry it till the edges brown, and top it with a freshly fried egg. Sandwich it between 2 slices of toast or a hamburger bun. Salty, crispy, a little runny, and deeply satisfying. Sometimes it showed up at breakfast, sometimes dinner. Either way, it hit the spot every single time. 19. Sloppy Joe, not the homemade kind. The kind made with canned manwich or other ready-made sauces. Just brown some ground beef, dump in the sauce, and serve it on a hamburger bun. It was fast, a little sweet, a little tangy, and always messy. Moms loved how quick it was. Kids loved how sloppy it was. And napkins, mandatory. 20. Butter and sugar sandwich sounds odd today, but during tough times, or as a sneaky childhood snack, this one was a lifesaver. Soft white bread, a smear of butter, and a spoonful of sugar sprinkled right in the middle. Fold it in half, take a bite, and you'd swear it was dessert. It was cheap, fast, and a treat when money were tight.